Now, it's an absolute pleasure to introduce to you the dynamic, passionate educator and an absolute standout, Miss Sultana Yasmin. With an unwavering commitment to excellence and a thirst for knowledge, Miss Yasmin embodies the very essence of what it means to be a lifelong learner in the world of teaching. Since 2011, Miss Sultana have been making waves in the education sector, leaving an indelible mark on every institution she touches. But Miss Yasmin's dedication to her craft doesn't stop here. She has actively pursued professional development opportunities, attending vital training sessions, conducting in house workshops, and even participating in social awareness campaigns like Protect Your Mom. Her passion for learning knows no bounds, and her enthusiasm is truly inspiring. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Miss Sultana Yasmin, a shining example of excellence in education. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum, dear audience. I'm Sultana Yasmin Jamal from Bangladesh, an early childhood teacher, and I'm extremely humbled to be part of this distinguished program, Kalam the Talk, where your words matter, along with my esteemed fellow speakers and my mentor, Dr. Halima Sadia. Well, today I will be talking about the use of emotional intelligence in classrooms. But before that, I want to take a moment for you to imagine a familiar scene with a bustling classroom filled with eager minds, each with unique personalities, who dreams and struggles. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever paused to ponder the role of emotions in education? And how often do we consider the impact of feelings like empathy, resilience, and self-awareness on a student's life? Well, in my case, I can recollect a vivid memory of a particular student of mine who was initially very shy and timid, and especially she had reading difficulty during the English class. So after I guided and modeled her how to read using a few, different voice modulations, body gestures, and so on, it then helped her to read the passage much better and with confidence. Later on, she simply thrived in the class. I mean, similarly, if we teachers recognize the need to develop emotional intelligence at school, it would give rise to more successes than adversities in our students' educational career. Well, in recent times, the concept of EQ is still relatively new, particularly in the South Asia region, where people lack the awareness of the significance of possessing this skill. In fact, the term emotional intelligence was first originated somewhere in the middle of 1990s by Daniel Goleman in his book called Emotional Intelligence: Why It Can Matter More Than IQ. Also, interestingly, even psychologists suggest that EQ is a transferable skill, and hence it is considered more important than IQ skill for success in life. Fortunately, we are now at a time and space where mental health is recognized as a vital attribute for one's holistic development, which has increased even more, especially after the lockdown during COVID-19. Well, currently, the development of EQ skills has become prevalent in many schools. Even it is now broadly taught as a subject called emotional learning because of its growing need. It's an essential skill that not only enhances academic performance, but also fosters relationships and even fulfills our personal goals. So on the contrary, people are now learning the importance of knowing how to deal with one's emotional aspects, because people with higher level of EQ are able to combat any stressful scenario, and they can deal better with conflicts. They know their self-worth, and they are able to give praise to others and give constructive feedbacks as well. which we actually need to see happening more inside our classrooms as well, right? So students need to be made aware consistently that they're the ones in control of their emotional reactions, and aware consistently that um, they can solve any kind of issue that they face. Um, for example, they can avoid any silly fights with their friends or any kind of aggressive behavior only if they learn how to make conflict resolutions. For example, when children take turn to play with a toy, they learn to share, the skill of sharing, right? So the practice of being emotional intelligent often helps people get along better with others by being more empathetic and compassionate, where students can avoid any sort of arguments or even rivalry between peers and so on. In addition, solid interpersonal ties can help preserve a great deal of relationships in both our personal and professional spheres. Also, young people are more adaptable to change, which is relevant in this fast-changing digital age. In a lot of cases, we find resilient students who are able to resolve their classroom problems independently. And the sole reason for that is that their parents teach and practice emotional intelligence right from their homes. We adults are their ultimate role models in every way. So exercising emotional intelligence would make individuals who are not afraid to show their vulnerabilities and at the same time take accountability for it. So being a more teacher myself, I can guarantee that developing students' EQ level is a key factor in building a solid foundation for students in their academic journey, especially when a teacher and her students have a stable relationship. Both the teaching and learning becomes easier. After that, intelligence develops naturally, enabling them to make better decisions for themselves. Therefore, educators actively exhibit emotional intelligence in the classrooms, which would create their students, or more likely they're to reflect the same in a logical manner. However, developing this sophisticated skill takes a lot longer for some students, but on the brighter side, childhood is the best time when the brain develops at a faster rate because young children can retain a wide range of new skills. Hence, I get to do that positive transformation with my students as I deal with students who are between the age group of 5 to 7 years. And I believe that they will become aspiring leaders in future if they have strong EQ. Just imagine a world where conflicts are resolved with understanding rather than aggression, where students feel empowered to express their emotions openly and respectfully. Furthermore, teachers can easily promote EQ effectively by modeling active listening in various forms with children. But some of the ways that I often use in my classrooms are like, first, I would ensure that I make more conversations or interactive conversations with them, especially during the discussions of a subject or in the subject called circle time, where I would encourage the learners to speak by expressing their emotions. Next, I would also be aware, try to stay aware of their body language, especially whenever they did a role play or maybe recite a poem. I would also demonstrate a specific facial expression or body language if necessary to help the student come across as being assured. Then, in situations like storytelling, where I would like to validate that I'm listening well by nodding and giving them appropriate answers where necessary. Also, another method that I often would do is to choose the right setting or the setup of the classroom just to have a conversation with them, either by taking to the outdoor areas like the play zone or the rooftop, where I can make them feel at ease before I discuss any important topic or do any activity with them. I think this, in fact, would help them to remember the concepts very well. Um, Last but not the least, sometimes if needed, I would like to counsel and talk to a student on a one-to-one basis, just to correct their mistake and help them reflect, self-regulate, and overcome any learning obstacles or even misbehaviors that is faced within the classroom scenario. Basically, by practicing these methods, I'm able to navigate my students' emotional needs. Similarly, we're not only helping them in class, but also preparing them for the future, where they're going to face the real life challenges and they can face it more confidently. I believe having a strong level of EQ is like holding an umbrella during a sudden rainfall. Who knows you'll need it? A classroom, a common classroom scenario would also be like, you will often see a student who needs or seeks for help. What they usually do, they may go easily first to their fellow friends or their teachers. Or in the scenario, the student may not ask for help at all due to fear of embarrassment, right? So hence, simply asking directly without any guilt or shame is the best solution. But because one needs to know the approach that, approaching others in various circumstances is an essential skill in all walks of life. And emotionally intelligent people are much better equipped to handle these situations. Thus, educators must prioritize the development of their students' EQ levels by integrating it with their academic planning to ensure that their mental health remains stable, as academic success can only be achieved with a healthy mind. Therefore, it's quite evident that in order for teachers to facilitate learners achieving the highest potential levels, they would need to promote EQ in learners consistently with the ability to manage their emotions well by self-regulation, which would further flourish their self-esteem, self-knowledge, and social awareness. Since there is no specific formula for establishing EQ, so leading by example is the best way to teach students about emotional intelligence, especially at a young age, would transform their lives forever. They will become great thinkers and learn to prioritize their life's goals, regulate themselves frequently, and help others to then be better at problem solving and hopefully strive for becoming or taking up leadership roles in future. Lastly, I'd like to say our emotions may cause us to make a split-second decision where consequences that may make us follow for the rest of our lives, right? So nurturing emotional intelligence, both inside and outside of the classroom, can help learners become not only academically strong, but emotionally stable and socially aware. So using EQ is a lifesaver and an indispensable tool for all the individuals in this world. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your wisdom and your insights. These points would definitely help the educationalists out there. We are truly honored to have you with us today. Over to you, Ms. Prameshwari.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great excitement that I introduce to you the remarkable Miss Fiza Sheikh. With over a decade of experience in the field of education, Ms. Fiza brings a wealth of knowledge, passion, and innovation to the forefront of teaching. She has more than 10 years with Byju's future school teaching, coding, and maths. Earlier, this was working with IBM and EDOs as a technical support executive and worked on broadband and Sun Solaris. I invite you, ma'am, to please shower us with your inspirational words. Now, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Hello, am I audible?